Okay, good morning. Last day I stopped uh, by mentioning what are these three, not actually three, what are these three? Confidence interval, we denote it by capital CI, capital CI, confidence level. So these are some kind of, not the exact definition, but this is how it, this has mentioned how this confidence interval is. What is this? What is this confidence interval is? It's simply confidence interval means how much do we confident about our results. Okay. In general, it gives us a percentage. Okay. But confidence level, that means a decimal. As I mentioned, it is the decimal version of confidence interval. Okay. If confidence interval, for example, if confidence interval is 95%, then confidence level is 0.9. Clear? Okay. Right. Basic things like this. If you consider confidence interval, these are the values of that confidence interval. Point estimate, which is your x bar, plus or minus margin error, which is that you need to find, right? That's what you need to find, like based on 95%. Okay, let me show you example. If my confidence interval is 95%, okay, then I'm going to find 95% from this and 95% backwards. Okay, those are the plus or minus. That is this margin error. Okay, we will discuss this margin error later. Okay, in detail. So don't worry about this. So point estimator plus, we can use instead of margin error, we can replace this margin error using table value and standard error of the point estimate. We will discuss that in section 8.2. Okay, so right, just forget about the idea between the confidence interval and confidence level. Focus on this. That's all you need, this one and next one. Here, as I mentioned, confidence intervals always as a we give it as a percentage. Okay. Yes, I know confidence interval. It's like a value, something like this. Okay, two values, but we interpret it as a percentage. We are confident 95% of our result. Of our result means x bar about this. X bar plus or minus margin of error. Okay, that is the idea behind it. So confidence interval always percentage, and confidence level is the decimal version of that percentage. If it is 99%, then confidence level is 0.99. Okay, next one, there is another one you should know, significance level. I know it's new thing, but significance level, do you remember alpha notation? Alpha always measure to the right. Okay, same idea here, alpha, but here this alpha we have a different name. That name is significance level. Okay, so what is the relationship between significance level and confidence level? Significance level is 1 minus confidence level. Okay, so as we discussed in chapter 6, alpha is also a decimal value. This is alpha equals confidence level. Sorry, not confidence level. 1 minus confidence level. So capital CL means confidence level. Capital CI means confidence interval. Okay, not confidence interval, confidence level. 1 minus confidence level. Okay, it gives you alpha. You need this alpha to find the confidence interval. Okay, we will do that in section 8.2. But remember this one. Always, let's say, okay, if I start from here, I'm telling you my confidence level is, sorry, my confidence interval is 95%. So what is my significant level? 0.05. Clear? So you should do first one is 95, then confidence level, then 1 minus confidence level. Okay. So throughout this chapter 8, maybe chapter 9, alpha mean significance level. Okay. Sometimes we call this a level of significance. It doesn't matter. Okay. Same thing. Alpha. Right. Just sorry, check this one. This is some kind of summary how we use this. If you consider random sample this much of students 40, they have given sample mean, which means x bar. This is your x bar. Okay. So this value 73 is your point estimate of the population mean test grade. You find 95 confidence. Okay. So 73 is your x bar, which means sample mean. Then you need to find 95% confidence interval. So how do you find that? Simply, this gonna be x bar. Okay, this is how. No, I need more space. This is the very basic idea. Okay. Okay. X bar. Let me erase everything. This is your x bar. So you know we need two values. Okay. First value x bar minus, okay, x bar minus 95% from that. So how do you get the 95% from that? X bar multiply by 95%, which means 95 over 100 or 0.95. This is multiplication, not x. This is multiplication. This next value is plus. Oh, sorry, not this plus. Next value is x bar plus x bar plus 95% or 0.95 from x bar. So these are the two values. So these values are simply this one. Okay, x bar minus x bar times 0.95 comma x bar plus x bar point multiplied by 0.95. This bracket is close. Okay, this is the prominent one. So these are the two values. With this one 70 and this one 76. Just calculate it. This value going to be 70, which means this is 73. So minus this one 73 times 0.95. If I calculate this, this is going to be 3.1. I think yes. So 73 minus 3.1 or 3.01 maybe. It's going to be 70. Say it's going to be 70. Okay. So likewise, you can calculate this. Clear? This is just an example. Okay. This is just an example. Clear? The idea behind is we just 95% confident about our interval. Okay. Left side or right hand side. Okay. General interpretation. These are about interpretation. How we interpret this? You are this much 95% confident that the population mean test score between these two values. These are inferential statistics, which mean we are dealing with sample. We are dealing with sample mean, but we are interpreting about the population. See, we are interpreting about the population. We are 95% confident about our population mean within this range. Okay, within this range. But we are dealing with sample mean, right? But we are telling about population mean. That's why we need confidence this much, 95%, 99%, 98, whatever. Okay. Okay, this is the mathematical idea. It is a little bit, I mean, too much, but This is the full summary. If you need to interpret this, just read it. I'm not going to read this one because the idea behind this one, I mean, general interpretation and the mathematical interpretation, they are same, but in mathematical case, we mention everything. Our sample size is this much. Our confidence interval is this much. So it includes, see, significance level, 5%. 5% or 0.05. You can write either way, doesn't matter, as a percentage or 0.05. Clear? Doesn't matter. When you write it, that's fine. Not include, yes, that is significance level mean something we are wrong about. I mean, that's not, I mean, 95% we are confident, but that 95% we are confident, but 5% we are not. Clear? That we are not part 5% is our significance level. Clear? Because we are taking 1 minus confidence level. So significance level simply the part that we are not confident. Okay. Clear? Okay. You can get idea. I mean, you can familiar with this more in section 8.2. That's what I'm going to start now. Any questions from this? This is kind of a 8.1 kind of a introduction, okay, to the chapter 8. Section 8.1, 8.2 and 3. Okay, right. Now, from this, starting from this, we are going to deal with real stuff. Confidence interval, still our chapter is confidence interval for one population mean. Okay, this is the chapter 8. This part we are going to deal with dealing with confidence interval when always we are dealing with population mean. Okay, so don't worry about that. We are dealing with population mean throughout this chapter. Okay, so confidence interval when sigma is known. This is really important. Sigma is known. What is sigma? Population standard deviation. Okay, there are few cases we know sigma, we don't know sigma. So according to those scenarios, we have to use different techniques. Okay, we will be discussing those things, but first one, sigma is known. That's the easiest one. Okay, and believe me, this never happened in reality. Okay, sigma known never happened, but inside the class it happens. Okay, right. First of all, we define few things. I mean, simply we assume especially 3 things. Our purpose is find the CI, confidence interval, for a population mean mu. Okay, confidence interval for mu. Always we find the confidence interval for mu. Okay, okay, these are the assumptions. Our sample is taken from a simple random sample, SRS. Throughout this chapter 8, 9, that's true. I mean, that should be true. Second one is my population is normal or sample is large enough. Do you remember those two in chapter 7, last few parts? Okay, either this one or this one. What is the purpose of this? Purpose of this is having a normally distributed sample, right? That's the idea. Because if my let's say my population is normally distributed, then what happened? My sample is also normal distributed or normal distributed. Unless the other side, I mean, I don't know about the population, but I'm taking large enough sample, greater than n greater than 30. Okay, large enough sample, then I can approximate my sample is normally distributed using CLT, central limit theorem. Okay, that's the idea. Purpose is having a normally distributed sample. This is the idea of the second one. Yes, sigma is known. Under this case, sigma is known. Okay. So these are the three assumptions you should know. I mean, you should verify in the first place. Okay. In general, first one, maybe second one, always true. But third one, you have to find it. Okay. Because based on third assumption, we have different techniques. Most of the time, we have two techniques. Okay. These are the steps. First, you need to find the this one, C alpha. Here, alpha is not just alpha over 2. Here, alpha over 2. I assume that you know how to find C alpha, right? So here, alpha is going to be alpha over 2, not just alpha, okay? 1 minus alpha. So this is confidence level. What is alpha? Alpha is 1 minus confidence level, right? So 1 minus, this means this. I mean, this whole thing is something like this. So this means confidence level, okay? So don't confuse with this one, okay? This whole thing means 1 minus alpha, or 1 minus alpha, okay? That's the idea of confidence interval. Sorry, confidence level. So you should find alpha, C alpha over 2, not C alpha over 2. Okay, always alpha divided by 2. Then find it using your table. Here, table 2 means both our part, table number 1 and table number 2. Those C tables. Okay, C tables. Simply, how do you find this one? It doesn't matter whether your alpha is alpha over 2 or not, which means this value right here. Clear? Same idea, okay, same thing. Next one, confidence interval is this one. This is how we find the confidence interval. Your x bar minus this part. For example, here, the same thing in the red color. See, this is your confidence interval, and this is, later you will see, this is your error, margin of error, or simply we call it error. So you add error, subtract error from x bar, you can get the confidence interval. This is the idea. Okay, right. What is this part? You already know this guy. You have seen this. What is this? Sigma x bar. Sigma x bar. This is the standard deviation of a sample means. Remember, sigma x bar. Chapter 7. Okay, chapter 7. This is sigma x bar. So if you need, in other words, I can write this, sorry, I can write this minus C alpha over 2 times sigma x bar, comma, next one is x bar plus C alpha over 2, same thing, same error, sigma x bar. Difference is plus and minus. Okay, always right hand side plus, left hand side minus. So this value right here, error, is a constant value throughout your problem. Okay, clear? We call this lower bound and upper bound. Any questions up to this point? Oh, so you okay, this is how you write it, 1 minus alpha percent. That's how we actually write it. This is your 1 minus alpha mean what? This is simply your confidence interval. Okay, this is simply your confidence interval percent. So don't confuse. This means, check this one. They have mentioned it like this. Clear? And they have mentioned this equals confidence interval. How this works? Like this. 1, okay, 1, this one, minus, what is alpha? Alpha is 1 minus confidence level. Clear? So let me again use the bracket. 1 minus confidence level. Close this bracket, close this first one, and percentage. So if you simplify this, you will see this is going to be what? CL percentage, right? CL mean what? Simply CL mean the decimal version of confidence interval. Get the percentage done. Okay, so it's same thing, but there is no specific way, but try to stick with this 1 minus alpha percent confidence interval, or CAL, say CI, for population mean. This is how we write it. Okay, statistical way, this is how we write it. 1 minus alpha percent confidence level, sorry, confidence interval for population mean is this interval. Clear? So throughout this chapter, you have to deal with this, with small difference. I know there are few differences, but this is the way. This part always is the error between your true value and the estimated value. Okay. Third one, what is that? Interpret. Okay. Last part is just interpretation. How do you write this? This is the general way to write it. Okay. Believe me, at the end of the, at the end of the answer, you should mention this. You should interpret it like this using words. Okay. You have found what is the interval, then you should write it. Confidence interval is for normal, this one population, it's approximately correct for large sample. Hold on. Okay, this is a general idea. Okay, this is general. But how we write it? Confidence 1 minus alpha percent. I'm talking about the interpretation. 1 minus alpha percent confidence interval for population mean is this one. Okay, or you can write it like this. Confidence interval is this one for significant level, either percentage or as a decimal. Okay, those are the two ways how we write it. Clear? Clear? This is a general interpretation note. What should you include? Approximation of what? Normal. Non-normal population. Okay. Part 2 and part 1. Clear? Okay, let's try to do a few examples. Let me check. Yes. Find the table value. Okay. We need to find the value for this one, but what is the alpha? Here, confidence level, confidence interval is 95%. So simply you should know what is alpha. Alpha is 0.05 or 5%. 5% means 0.05. Clear? So your alpha is 0.05, but you need to find C alpha over 2, not alpha, alpha over 2. Okay, go to the table and find what is the C value based on alpha over 2. Here alpha over 2 means 0.05. Sorry, 0.025. This is the value you need to find. Find the C value based on this area. It is 1.96 positive. 1.96 because area is 0.025. Okay. If you consider negative, positive, it doesn't matter here because we are dealing with interval, plus or minus. So same thing you will get if you consider negative, doesn't matter. Okay, so consider positive value. Then I think the same story they have mentioned here. You can find two values here and here. This is positive and this is negative. Okay, doesn't matter. Consider 1.96, so that if you know what is x bar minus C alpha over 2, C alpha over 2 is 1.96 times sigma over square root of n, sigma over square root of n. Other one is the other one, x bar plus 1.96 sigma over square root of n. This is how you write your confidence interval. I mean 95% confidence interval. 95% confidence interval is this. Or you can write it for significant level 5%. Here significant level is alpha. It is 5% or 0.05. Yes. Comma, I mean two values. This is the interval. Okay. 5, 10. Range is 5 to 10. Okay. That's how we, because this is an interval. Here, lower bound, upper bound. Yeah. It is just like this. 5, 10. Let's say this is x. So like this. 5 to 10. Same thing. Which means this range, this piece. Values starting from 5 and maximum 10. Clear? Here you don't have to do any calculations. Just I show you how to find the confidence interval based on what they have mentioned. Okay. Most of the time you will see 95% confidence interval and 99 confidence interval. Okay. So try to remember those C values, C alpha over 2 values. For if you have 95% confidence interval, definitely C alpha over 2 is 1.96. Okay. If you have 99% confidence interval, C alpha over 2 value is, I don't remember, negative 2 point something. Oh, yes, you have to find it. And if you remember that, simply you can plug in. Clear? Because most of the time you will be having like 95% or 99%. Okay. Most sometimes 90% as well. Those three are the prominent cases. Okay. Right. When to use this guy with sigma unknown? Believe me, this part you can use. I mean, this approach you can follow if you know sigma. So it is a one condition. I mean, the third condition of the assumptions. Okay. This is something you already know. Sample, okay, small sample size less than 30. You cannot use this. If you don't know, okay, if you don't know, if you do not know about your population, I'm writing it like this, population, then no, and also let's say and sample size less than 30, then you cannot use this approach. Above approach. Why? Based on our assumptions. Remember, both first one, second one, not especially first one, second one and third one. Okay, you should satisfy those three in the first place. Yes. So no, if you consider the second one, CFT as well. I mean, central limit theorem as well. if you know your population is normally distributed, definitely, and you know sigma, it's definite, okay, then you can use the previous approach, I mean, what we have discussed. The other part is you already know sigma, and but you don't know about the population, but at the same time, you know my sample is large enough, then you can use it.
What if we have a set who's not
Normal distributed under what case?
if it's not like it's less than the final?
Okay. You mean the population?
Yeah.
Okay, population is another distribution. What about the sample size?
Around 30. That's the 30 one.
Less than 30. If it is less than 30, you cannot use this.
Yeah.
But sample size is greater than 30, you can use it.
So if as long as sample size is greater than 30,
Sorry, I didn't get it.
as long as sample size is greater than 30,
Yes, you can use it
then that is distribution.
by using what? Central limit theorem. Okay, clear? This is what we are talking about. More than 30, still you can use. You can approximate it to a normal distribution, and you can use C tables. Okay, this whole idea behind is using C tables. Clear? Because you have to find C alpha over 2 using C tables. Okay, clear? Any questions? Please don't mix these steps. Next time, I mean next after this example, I'm going to explain something else. Okay, so don't confuse these two. Check this example. Here you have a sample, 50 observations. You have a sample. They have given sigma. They have given. Doesn't matter about the population. It's because this sample already 50, so it's large enough. But also they have mentioned it's normally distributed. Okay, same thing. So don't worry about the normal distribution or not. You can simply use what we have done. Sigma known, and they need to find confidence interval for 95%. Confidence interval 95% for their age, mean age. Okay. So C confidence interval CI is 95%. So what is alpha? Significant level. What is alpha? 5% or 0.05. Clear? So what is C alpha over 2? It is C 0.025. Right? You already know this value. What is this value? 1.96. Previous slide. Okay, 1.96. Not the previous one. From this one. Okay. So value is 1.96. Clear? Next, to find the confidence interval within this 95%, what you need? What else you need? What else you need? Okay, in general, this is your confidence interval. X bar minus C alpha over 2. Let me write it like this. Sigma over square root of n. Comma, next value is X bar plus alpha over 2. This is how we find it, right? But what are the values you need? You already know this guy. Right? Here, this one, 1.96. You already know this value. It's given here. Already know this value as well. It is given, it is 50. But what you don't know, this one, X bar. How do you find X bar? Yes, sample mean. Just find sample mean. Summation of what? X size divided by number of observations. This is how we find the X bar. Okay. Okay, check this one. There. So once you find X bar, simply plug these values and find the interval. That's it. Okay, let's see how we do it based on those steps. You don't have to follow these steps. If you like, then you can follow. But these things, I mean, whatever mentioned in the steps should be there in your answer, because that's the procedure. Okay, but you don't have to follow this. Follow this order. First, if you can write simply, you can write C alpha over 2 is this value, that's fine. Okay, but how you do that? Like this. You need to find C alpha over 2. First, you need to find this, as I showed you in the last slide. Next, this is the general form. You need to plug these values, sigma given, n given, and also C alpha over 2 is given. I mean, not given. You could find it. Then find X bar using your sample knowledge, sample mean knowledge, or it is summation of xi over n. Okay. Finally, 95% confidence interval for mu is, please try to write it like this. You don't need this part. 95% confidence interval for mu, always the same thing for mu, is this one, or from this one to this one, or simply you can write it like a interval, like this, without any words. You can simply is this interval. Clear? Please try to simplify this. Okay, these are the two values: 38.05, 44.8. Then finally, explain your answer. We are 95%. This is a one way. Okay, we are 95% confident that the mean age, this is about what we are dealing with, mean age mu, for all people in the civilian. This is the story what they have mentioned in the question. Between, this is what we found. This is the confidence interval values. Okay, this is a complete answer, including third one, step 3. It doesn't matter how you write it, but please write it, explain it. What is it? You should include this one, and your confidence interval when you interpret the results. Those three are the, I mean, compulsory stuff I should see, or in general, we should see in your answer. Clear? It doesn't matter how you write it, doesn't matter, but these three components should be there in your explanation, interpretation part. Is that clear? Okay, right. Questions? I think we don't need to do this one. Yes, this is you can do this the same way, but I'm not going to do this one. First, they have mentioned you need to find the mean x bar. Find x bar here. How do you find it? Summation xi over n. Okay. Then you need to find the 95% confidence interval, the way exactly how we find the previous case, how we use it in the previous case. Okay. Then they ask something else. Okay, you know how to do it. Please check this one. I mean, please do it. Okay. Please do this example. I'm not going to do this because it is very similar to what we have done in the last slide. Okay. Right. This is the last thing I can do today's class. Margin of error. This is what I was talking about. Margin of error is this part. Do you remember I mentioned when we are dealing with confidence interval? This is the margin of error. And here X bar, and here E, margin of error. This part right here, this part right here. Do you remember we add margin of error, we subtract margin of error. So this is my confidence interval. Value here is this one, value here is this one, plus minus. Do you remember? These are the two values, and margin of error, okay. So confidence interval equals to 2 times margin of error. Why? Because this piece right here, just E, this part just E. So E plus E, 2E, 2 times E. Okay, that's the confidence interval. I mean, E from the left of X bar, E to the right of the X bar. Okay. Please remember this one, E. If anytime you need to find margin of error, this is how we find it. This is the, you remember that part, last part, X bar. Let me write it like this: plus or minus C alpha over 2 times sigma over square root of A. This, as I mentioned, this is your E. Clear? Please tell me if you have any questions. Don't keep doubts so that you can go forward. Right? Most of the time, chapter 8 will be there in your mid-exam 3. Okay. Okay. This is what I was talking about. That's it. Okay. This is what I was talking about. This is the margin of error. And if you consider your length of the confidence interval, okay, it is 2 times E. This part E, this part E, this is 2 times E, length of your confidence interval. Or simply I can say upper bound minus lower bound. Yes, this one. See, upper bound minus lower bound. This gap, I mean, just the length of the interval is 2 times E. See this one. Length of the interval, if you subtract this one from this one, that's the length. Okay, these two are just values. Okay, so you will see this is going to be 2 times C alpha over 2 times sigma over square root of n, which means 2 times E. I'm talking about the length. Okay, lower bound to upper bound. This length equals to 2 times E. Clear? After that, we have to, this margin of error, I'll do it next time. That's totally fine. Any questions? But believe me, you need to find confidence interval as well as margin of error. This is how you simplify it. Same thing, right? This part, you already deal with this part when you are going to find the confidence interval. Only thing is you should know what is this part. This part is margin of error, or simply we call capital E. Okay.